The key to becoming a rich person. Using leverage thinking on the creation of, producing from numbers is not too much. It's hard not to tell a story first. It's really quite weird. A programmer, American named Bob with a salary of $250,000 month per year, however, in the year 2012 his company discovered the non-reward of the internal system with a record login from China using account and password of Bob initial public. I thought they were attacked by hackers, but after an extensive investigation of the truth has just been exposed without any news. A thief that Bob himself hired, Chinese presenter with salary $50,000 per year to do the work. This means that Bob barely had to do anything, earn $200,000 a year despite the behavior violates the company's regulations if we think more deeply about the logic behind. Later we'll see that Bob has died. Use a tool called leverage in advance. As we delve deeper into don't forget to follow the channel for more real money and helps you quickly achieve financial freedom. Greetings to you and you who have legal methods and compliance with to use leverage to create Archimedes in physics used to say, give me a fulcrum and a leverage long enough I can lift the whole left land in the field of property. Today I will suggest you a book that is of Naval Ravikant. The Vietnamese title is Naval Ravikant to Garden and Hand. This will be the document provided by the newspaper. Several leverage tools to help you create out of the property in this book. Naval think that don't divide people into rich and the poor, upper or lower classes. Instead, modern society should be divided into two groups of people. Know how to use leverage and people. I don't know who Naval was and what ways to create assets. Naval is who Naval was born into a family poverty in India and emigrated to the United States when only 9 years old. Like many immigrants, his family had no money when he was he even had to do undercover work in restaurants for a living. Because of the security situation in New York at that time, it was not good. His mother asked him to only be allowed to the library, and so every day he moved only between home and mail. When he was 21 years old, he graduated from Dartmouth, a prestigious university. By the age of 27 he became a partner, founder of August Venture Capital Fund. Naval has successfully invested in many startups such as Twitter and Uber, made him known as a godfather. The tip of silicon. What he is best at is how to create assets from zero. Naval once said that if one day he loses everything and is left on the streets of any country, English speakers, he believes that in 5 to 10 years he will become rich. He was a thoughtful person, and often share their views on wealth and life on Twitter. Quickly attracted the attention of many young people. These thoughts have been regrouped. Tronku on the Almanac of Naval Ravikant's naval attitude towards property. Naval argues that the pursuit of wealth does not contradict the preservation of ethics and the property it brings to you and your family. A freer and happier life. For Naval, money and property are two concepts. The difference between money and wealth. What is the essence of money according to Naval? Money is a debt paper that society writes for you when you contribute to society. Will pay you in the form of a sheet. This debt is money that understands that money is just a piece of debt we need. What to do? Clearly the only way is to create more value for society to get back more debt papers. So what are assets? Assets are something that can generate money right away, even if you are sleeping. For example, a house lease is considered as an asset because even when you sleep, the house still brings income. Import-free shares in a company is also an asset because even if you sleep, still operating and generating profits. If you write a song and other people use it, using that song you will get a copy fee. That right is the property of you. A book writer can receive annual royalties even if you don't need to do. That is also the property of these things. Is the income after sleep means income continues even if you are sleep. How to find out the source of income after my sleep? The key to talent. Product. Make yourself a product. Naval says that the creation of assets is a skill, and if it is a skill it can. What is the key to learning this skill? It's about turning yourself into a product, in which there are two important keywords: body and productization. For oneself, it is important to find the poison, their own. If you can be replaced easily, there is no uniqueness. The uniqueness is the ability to find out the interests and competencies of, develop into core competencies. Core at any stage of life. Your goal should be to constantly lift high uniqueness and own capacity. Instead of seeking promotion and salary increase, So what is productization? Productization is to find the leverage effect. Increase the value from your wallet. Luring a consultant every day to provide services to different customers. And the collection of consultancy fees is not yet but if the person records in the form of a video and open the translation, membership for anyone who needs it new is the productization. This is the harvest. Enter after sleep. Sleep in the pursuit of the possessions we need. Ask yourself the first 2 questions. Is it really what I want to do? Monday I did the productization. If you can solve these 2 questions, you'll be able to create assets and analyze how to do 2 things. This way, to find out the talents of I found my own talent is the way to be yourself. Naval says expertise can't be, but can be learned how to. Understanding this saying, a person cannot just listen to a course that instantly learns how to. Creating property science here means must practice experience and find garlic. The teacher can lead you to the child the right path, but progress depends on to yourself. For example, thinking about assets that have thought-provoking body helps you find opportunities, associations, but in the end, you can turn. Whether that comes true or not depends on the contemplation and effort of you. No one can understand you better yourself in your journey to become yourself. If you only think about become someone else who only catches first you. The road to your property will encounter many obstacles. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, once said that starting a business is not a thing. Follow the path you already have. If you see what others are doing, avoid following the surname. You have to discover their own road for each project to start. Successful karma is creativity. Original. Though the 2 companies may look are the same and belong to the same industry, but the content they do can be completely different. That is the creativity in businesses. When choosing a business, the most important thing is to find instead of just paying attention to the level of high salary means you're paying money with his time, and that shows that you don't have assets because you don't have earnings. After Naval Sleep, think that you should pay attention to the latest technology because these technologies will deliver the product. New and development opportunities. Take the example of plastic bags. You probably don't consider it now is a technology, but when new plastic bags, it was born as an achievement of technology. Chemistry. If you can build a house plastic bag production machine at that time, you will definitely make a fortune because no one others can do it, only you. To be able to find its own path. Li Jiacheng started a business like that. He started by selling plastic flowers, which at the time was considered to be high-tech products. This shows high-tech with the process of spreading, and when it becomes popular is no longer high technology anymore. You will no longer earn money from it. So if you want earn money, you need to constantly follow the most technologically advanced things and how they can be applied. How to detect expertise. Fish. You need to dig deep into the field of body. As you continue to dig into the end, you will create something new, which is your passion. This requires you to become a lifelong learner, constantly thinking and exploring and ending. Together you will achieve talented success. Individuals are always at the edges of knowledge, where you discover new things from the inner passion for getting rich. The most important skill is to be a lifelong learner. Even professors and doctors can't take you to the edge of knowledge. That should be the self-journey you go through on your own. Loneliness and persistence. Reach the limits of knowledge. Become a brave person, feeling lonely, constantly thinking and examining. Finally you will find the way. His Naval says that though it's about property, relationships or knowledge, we must believe in the power of compound interest every day. 1% progress over a year will have significant change when you read a lot. Reading the next books will be easier. That is the power of similar compound interest in relationships and finances. You also need to believe in compound interest and have a long-term vision. Compound interest payment is not clearly reflected in the short term, but in the long run it can create So whether it's investing or making friends, we all have to look far and wide. See yourself and take advantage of the following leverage. When you find yourself moving on According to the use of leverage 7, there are 3 types of attacks. The 7 main things that help create the number 1 asset. 7 labor. This is the kind of leverage that Bob used in the opening story, or in the same way that automobile factories Tesla operates it, based on the use of the labor of many people to amplify company's property if rental cost. In addition to a job that is lower than the input that it brings, you can consider outsourcing the number of hectares of leveraged capital. For example, a manager. The fund has a great reputation in the financial industry, can easily mobilize dozens of $billion to manage or invest in others. This is the leverage capital. 3. Leverage technology star cost. This is a new type of leverage, and also the most important. It consists of products such as media source code, media books, sound recordings, and diplomas. Patent. Microsoft has evolved thanks to Bill Gates writes code and changes to the operating system, Windows, into copyable software, and edit at almost the same cost. No writing. Mom writes books and makes videos. Course post on Twitter or spin videos that don't require you to be exposed with others but can help you to promote the labor achievements of. How do I make money as a writer? A writer can write a book and copy it infinitely continuously on the market and constantly generate income for yourself. These are the 3 types of blows. Leverage to create assets. So how to, combined with your personal circumstances, to find out the leverage of the asset. How to find the leverage. 7 talents. Next, product. Let's see how. Let's find out the leverage of your own assets. To find the leverage of the first 7 assets, the first thing is not to follow the trend. Find out what you are passionate about. Do what you do. Take your passion as a premise. Don't just care about money goals. Silver Naval is a Chinese fan of the moral scriptures. He said that the more, less desire for something, the less worry and the least attachment, from which it is easy to go with nature. If you do something similar to another person, other will be very easy to replace you, to get the economic benefits you need to provide things that society needs but not easy to find. So no matter what you do, focus on the work itself, not into making money first. Focus on the work itself is also a clear feature of the creating art, even though it is a startup. Exercise or love make friends. The meaning of life lies in practicing. Focus on the experience process and enjoy the present. The magic is when you focus on the work you can do better. Even making money, you can become the top earner. Naval said that the year in which he created the most wealthy is actually the year that he worked with least effort and care. To the future, he does almost everything just because I find this interesting, for allowing him to spend time on projects that he found most valuable because of the thinking about the process he achieved. The best fruit we talked about earlier. 3 types of labor: leverage, capital, and products with zero cost of copying. If you use labor as a lever, 7 articles. This requires very high manageability. If you use capital as leverage, 7, it requires high social reputation, otherwise it will be very difficult to raise capital for ordinary people. The 7 most carefully considered products with the cost of copying is 0. This including books, media, movies, photos, and source code. If you can edit the software, it's Bill Gates' 7 styles. If you like the internet, you can create a personal communication thanks to the internet. Just needs you to be the best in their field and can open wide scale of special content that you offer. Then even if the preference of you are very small, you can still play. In the past, people divided people into 2 types of educated people and uneducated people, or divided into manual labor and mental labor, or the rich and the. However, according to the Naval, he divided his people into 2 types of people who know how to use leverage of assets and people who don't know how to use the leverage of the assets. Of the person with the 7 parachute leverage do not work, still have a source of income thanks to things that help them make money. Reverse, people who don't have leverage, if they don't do that, there will be no income. He emphasized that if you have the responsibility, expertise, and know how to take advantage of the 7-part leverage, financial rewards that society brings will commensurate with your value at that time. You will save a lot of time and become extremely efficient. You don't must have a meeting just to show themselves. No need to try to work to be recorded. Instead, you just need to focus into a job with real value. Big problems, especially when working for someone else, is you part-time. You desire get more money, so you have to try to prove that his time has value. Why in many companies, office politics or other, that underground fight is because everyone is trying, proving their own value. However, proving that you are valuable and doing well, work is sometimes unrelated. Together with people like Steve Jobs at How Can I Still Think After Retirement? Products like iPod or That's Because You Don't Need to Prove What to Do with Whom, but only focus on solve problems and then bring yourself into a positive cycle. When you find the blow 7, you will enter a positive cycle. So on the contrary, if you can't find you, easy to fall into a negative cycle. How to achieve the leverage effect and Naval for that 2 skills are very important abilities: sales and the ability to build these. People with strong building abilities such as CTO, technical director, programmer, or the people who create the product can creating value for capable people. Strong sales is the people who do marketing, live streams or speeches, are capable of promoting products to the market. School: if you possess both of these skills, you can become a CEO. Even if you don't, must be a CEO with only one of 2 skills is also enough to help you achieve a number of leverage. Naval advises us to make money with our minds, wisdom, not by time. People who make a lot of money buy time, like a dentist, lawyer or footballers. However, many is the athlete rich all his life, not only thanks to playing football but also thanks to knowing how to manage finances, like SHW O'Neal and LeBron James. They use the earn money, are allowed to invest in companies such as oil. Used to be a shareholder of Google from the first paragraph. Angel Naval also press: don't break the law. Many people want to do it, get rich quickly and be willing to violate law, but once you fall into the imprisonment, any previous attempt may become. So you need to be patient every time. Step forward even though the 99% effort may be waste. We have to wait patiently. Opportunity to another important possibility is Naval's judgment interpretive. That CEOs are expensive because of their ability to speak. Guess they are a CEO who is capable of speaking, guess a little better than others, can make a big difference. Let's say both companies manage a fortune, $10 billion. If the CEO of this company is good, only 10% than the CEO of the other company, at a scale of $10 billion, the difference will be is equivalent to $1 billion. So the CEO receives a salary of millions of dollars each year is completely reasonable. This is very normal because if the ability, their judgment is only a little worse, a business worth hundreds of billions of dollars, LA can lose hundreds of millions of dollars. This is why judgment makes we become more valuable, and that is also a way to make money with your mind. You need to set yourself a price. Working hours. When he has not succeeded in business and did not have much money set for the price per hour worked is $5,000. If you spend an hour doing something and feel that it doesn't bring in at least $5,000, he won't. Instead, he was willing to hire people or entrusting to others. Each of us should set for ourselves the value of work hours to focus on things that have a greater impact and have ability to deliver high progressive efficiency than when he finds the leverage of the 7 talents. So how can to amplify the strike effect? 7 ways to choose an industry to take leverage. Assets. When first entering a profession, you should consider the number 3 big questions. Where you will live. Number 2, you will live with whom is number 3. What will you do? 3 sentences. This question has a great impact on life of a person, so you need to solve. For example, choose a city to. You should choose the south or the north to live, main center or business center, big city or city. You need to think about this question because it has a lot to do with the value of and the outlook on life of. You're about to retire. Naval give a unique definition. He says that retirement is when you no longer have to be present in order to achieve a dream future. Statue. When you can live in the present and fully enjoy each of those days is the current retirement status. Means you're working just for the money without feeling interested until the age of 100. Want to do this job? That's the state. Retirement. Don't be confused that retirement is have to rest without working or learn. If you feel the work of I don't bring suffering or pressure, that you really love it, then you have achieved Warren retirement status. Buffett every day goes to work with joy. He said he didn't feel. Find yourself at work simply or happily participating in the investment game until he was over 90 years old. He continued, work outsiders can look at and thought that he was working very hard, but it was real. He has reached a state of retirement that Naval says, to how much money do you need to earn to feel seeing safety? Naval also has its own views on, after success should I continue? Non-naval startup says that he, not worried about money but also very, beware of the greed you may possess. Assets have a leisurely life but, don't exaggerate beyond what you want. Body. Naval emphasizes that there is no rush to level their lifestyle. Many people become, in starting a business, but still feeling deprived because they are starting to expand. Bigger office, buy a more luxurious house, even rent a yacht or plane, especially when the lifestyle of a person raises too fast. They'll always feel like they're poor and never earns enough. Naval encourages a minimalist lifestyle, he saying that you should not participate in these useless social relationships or a person. Anonymous acquaintance of Bill Gates almost, there is no use for you, instead you should make an effort to create something that makes Bill Gates has to find you. You have to call who to ask. Made that thing to help me find people. That's when you can create something interesting. Your values and abilities will attract others want to connect with you. That relationship is really valuable. Navy's concept of hand blessed. We have talked about possessions. Now let's talking about Naval's perspective on happiness. This is also very inspiring, as it was mentioned earlier. The kin morality of Lao Tzu had a profound influence on Naval. He said that happiness is an unnecessary state, must make an effort to achieve. All disturbing emotions all come from the desire to. If you have a desire, then the afflictions will be. Export. Currently, according to Naval, life without feelings, lack of awareness, is double happiness. When we are very easy to judge that people, this is good, the other is bad. But if we always use good and evil to evaluate everything, this will cause great damage to the main thing. Our world doesn't change because of us, but we can change the way we look about the world. A common mistake. See that we think that as long as we get something, life will be full, satisfied. But after many years of living in meditation, is our mind really at peace after when we achieve those things, or we continue to desire something else? So, never think that achieving one thing, something that will bring spiritual satisfaction. The most important is the present moment. If you want to be peaceful, live in peace right here, this moment. Finally remember that the profession cannot be taught, but it can be learned. I sincerely hope that people will live their lives wishful thinking. Thank you for following me. Stop today if you feel the content my valuables. Don't forget to share with friends and relatives. Please follow me to know more about the secrets of money. Hello and see you.